Hey, Howard Jacobson here with a confession. I talk a lot about time mastery as opposed to time manipulation, and I want to tell you about this massive manipulation I'm pulling on myself to get more stuff done. So here it is. I have a regular column in Search Engine Watch online. Every 2 weeks I submit a column. I've done it for over a year. And as a result, I have a pretty nice portfolio of articles. I can point people to them. They're very helpful. It makes me think about new stuff. And I'm even thinking I could collect them and edit them into a book. Awesome. I also am a blogger for Fast Company. And they said, write whenever you want, we'll take a look at it. We're sure they've never said no to an article. I published a whole bunch of them. One of them in 2011, November, called Gratitude as a Business Strategy, was the most popular article on Fast Company that entire month. And it's a great way to reach people and to talk about things that I really care about. Search Engine Watch is great, but I'm not just about AdWords and search engines and search marketing. I really want to talk about lots of other bigger, deeper stuff, like gratitude as a business strategy. So it really behooves me to write for Fast Company. And besides, Fast Company reaches a lot of the people that I'd love to reach, that I'd love to work with as a coach, as a consultant, as a partner. So there's every reason in the world for me to be writing for Fast Company. And guess how many articles I have written for Fast Company this year? Like 3. You know why? Because at Search Engine Watch, I signed a contract to say I was going to write an article every 2 weeks. And every 2 weeks, I get an automatic email from the publisher saying, don't forget your article. It's the same email every single week. It's due on such and such a date. Don't forget the picture. Here is the specs for the photo you have to submit. And they treat it like a business, and I'm actually a little bit scared of them. Fast Company, they say, hey, write whenever you want, whatever you want. And no one's going to fire me if I don't do it, if I don't send it in. And I've discovered, to my shame, that makes a huge difference for me. And so I started thinking back, is that true of other things? Well, I wrote a book, 3 editions of the book, Google AdWords for Dummies. Every single one of them was under contract with a big company that I was a little bit scared of. I didn't want to mess with them. My first online product, Leads into Gold, the only reason I created it is that I went to a Better Business Bureau meeting, or no, it was a Chamber of Commerce meeting in my town in 2002, and I sold it for 24 bucks and 3 people bought, and I said, well, now I gotta make it, because I had obligated myself. So it turns out that certain types of things I only produce under obligation, under a little bit of threat. Am I proud of that? No. I wish that I could always just attain mastery through the vision of what I want to create, the pure joy of it, and the fact is, that's not true for me right now. So I have 2 choices, or 2 options. I have a choice. I could either be the way I am and set it up so that I can succeed anyway, or I could wish that I was different and try to make that work. Well, I've tried to make the wish I was different work for an entire year. I wrote 1 article in the fall about the sweet potato harvest, and then I stopped. So that wasn't working. But what I can do, though, is say, well, this is who I am. I work well, certain types of things I produce under pressure and threat. So yesterday, I wrote an email to my editor at Fast Company. I said, this is going to sound like a strange request, but I would like to pretend that you're going to be mad at me if I don't produce a column every 2 weeks. And I'm waiting to hear back from her to see if she's willing to play that game with me. If she's not, maybe I could get someone else to send me an email. Maybe someone watching this would like to pretend to be my editor and send me an email 3 days before I want to write an article saying, hey, where's your article? And any of those things could work. And at a certain point, I'm sure I'm going to get into the groove and I won't need it anymore. But at this moment, this form of manipulation is something that's going to be very useful for me, and so I'm not going to pretend that it won't. So that's all for today. Hope you have a great week. Talk to you next time.